The Senate yesterday justified a planned purchase of luxury vehicles for lawmakers in spite of the dissenting voices in the last few days. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Services, Senator Sunday Karimi, says that the leadership of the two chambers of the National Assembly have decided to buy these vehicles for lawmakers because of durability and maintenance for the period of 4 years. He further stated that Nigerians were picking on lawmakers but ignoring ministers. According to him, some ministers have more than 3 Land Cruisers, Prado, and other vehicles, and questions are not asked. Let's get some insight on some of these issues. Senator Sunday Karimi, the chair of the Senate Committee on Services, joins us live here in our studio. Thanks so much, Senator, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
It seems that Honorable, and I've still not gotten over calling you Honorable.
What's in the name?
They say once the senator is always the senator. I guess once the honorable is always an honorable.
There's no problem about that. No problem.
All right, thank you so much indeed. This controversy, I like us to, because I'm going to take you around a few issues, but let's tackle these vehicle issues. Do you think it's the right time to buy such an amount of vehicle as the nation is right now?
Okay. You see, if you look at the 3 tiers of government that we're running, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislatures, at the level of, you're talking of ministerial positions, directors, in government circles, AMSECs, even in the judiciary, the justices of the Court of Appeal, the High Court judges, not to talk of the Supreme Court justices. You check out the vehicle they are using. They are using the same utility vehicle that we're talking of. So what is the problem with legislatures that every assembly, Nigerians will complain about the vehicles they buy for our legislatures? Let me tell you, we need these vehicles for oversights. We use these vehicles to travel all over our constituencies. And you find out that after 4 years, the value of this vehicle, it depreciates. And at the end of 4 years, the final value, they will ask us to pay and go with the vehicle. When I was in the House of Reps, that was done. So it is not...
So the vehicle you used in the House of Reps is still with you? You took it home?
But I paid for it at the end of the day.
How much did you pay for it then?
I cannot remember now. Cannot remember.
But it was at a ridiculous price because you have used it for 4 years.
Not a reduced...
But at a very reduced price.
Because of the depreciation
of it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, some of the senators who are returning senators right now, they will get also new vehicles.
The one that they used in that assembly,
4 years ago.
4 years ago, the depreciated value as at the time they left, they paid for it.
So it's now 100% theirs.
But they paid. It's not that they didn't take it from.
Okay, so the lawmakers are not meant to pay proratively for the vehicles. No, it's supposed to be a purchased vehicle for you. It's an official vehicle.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be given to you by the government.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you do not want to take it home after 4 years, you leave it.
You leave it.
But it's supposed to be paid. It's not as though I have an official vehicle as a channel staff because of my status, because of my level here, working here.
Yeah.
So in some other clients, what you have is that you pay instrumentally for a vehicle like that until you finish paying it.
No,
that is not your case.
Yeah.
So Nigeria is buying these vehicles for these lawmakers.
Yeah. And at the end of your tenure, depreciated value, they cost it, you pay for it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how much is this vehicle?
Let me even tell you, the cost of this vehicle, they are not even determined by us. They are determined by the civil servant. We have a department, just like every other agency of government that is in charge of procurement. You see, the vehicle that you're buying for senators and the one you're buying for House of Rep, they are the same price.
So they are buying Land Cruiser too?
No, they are buying, I think, Prado.
Okay.
But Prado. But I think the presiding officers, maybe they are buying Land Cruiser, I think.
So what is the price at which it is being sold to the lawmakers?
Let me tell you how they determine the price. Just like the Procurement Act. For items that you are procuring, the market price plus 25% profit margin and the VAT, the hard VAT also, the 7.5% VAT. You know that VAT will be taken back. Even the 25% that is added, they will still take away the normal tax of 5% from it. You see, let me tell you something, Sean. Now, as I'm talking to you, some of the vehicles that were purchased in 7th Assembly, 8th Assembly, 9th Assembly, they have not been fully paid for. Like you are a businessman that they bought vehicle from you 7 years ago at, say, 7 million naira, for example. And up to now, they have not finished paying the 7 million naira. By the time they finish paying, you know you have even lost everything.
So you cannot tell us now
what I'm telling you,
the rate at which the National Assembly is getting
the rate at which they bought the vehicle. If you know the market value of if you go to Elisari or go to any of these outfits, if the cost of Land Cruiser says 150 million or 160, I don't know, or 170, depending on the rate of exchange keeps changing.
Yeah.
Add what a department under procurement, what they will do, they will go and check the market price. And they give the percentage that is allowed under the Procurement Act.
Okay, so the reason why I made an example of myself is because not only that you use a vehicle, because if you, according to you said these vehicles are utility and operational vehicles.
Yeah.
Utility and operational vehicles are not supposed to be kept by individuals. So what you are getting is status vehicles, which you are using for utility purposes.
Yeah.
A status vehicle is what you can, that befits your status.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave an example of myself. Now, is it true that the lawmakers are buying at the rate of 160 million, the Land Cruisers?
Even now, Joe, at the rate of dollar exchange now, I don't know whether Land Cruisers sell in the market at 160 million. Are you getting me? They will not, if it's 160 million in the market, they will not come and supply to you at 160 million because you are not going to pay them their money outrightly. And the law, I've just said it.
So, but the federal government is paying outrightly to those who are supplying the National Assembly.
They're not paying outrightly. They pay proratically.
Okay, because at the moment, I compare prices. Just a moment. One of the top suppliers or sellers of vehicles here in Abuja, I didn't even go to Lagos. I just found out, I made my research here in Abuja. The range is between 140 million and 145 million for a Land Cruiser. But what we understand that they're buying those vehicles for you and your colleague is at the rate of 160 million.
I'm not even telling you now it's 160 million.
That's what we understand. That's what I'm asking. We understand that that's how much it's going to cost, 160 million.
I've just said something now, Sean. If you go to an outlet in Abuja and you are going to pay cash or you're going to transfer money to them outrightly, you can get it at 150, I don't know. but nobody will supply you that vehicle if you are not going to pay. I've just said something now, that some people have been home for vehicle purchase for 7 years ago. So you have to give them a profit margin. If not, the loss will be too much.
All right.
Because we are not going to pay outrightly.
So, Senator, let's not use the 160 million figure. Let's use the 140 million. And you say you chose Land Cruiser over Prado.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I said Prado. The House of Rep guys took.
So why
Prado.
didn't the senators use Prado instead of Land Cruiser?
You see, it's been the practice. When I was in House of Rep, while we were using Camry, senators use Prado. Are you getting me? Even last assembly, the same thing. So they don't give us the same, you know?
Because, I mean, they believe that senators are higher in status than the senators.
Yeah.
So because the market price of a Prado is about 85 to 90 million naira.
Yeah.
So when we wonder, so if you minus Land Cruiser and Prado, you give and take a 50 million naira difference in what you would have chosen to buy. Senator, there are other vehicles that are being produced locally, like GAC that has been coupled in Lagos. There is the vehicles that are being produced locally, owned by a Nigerian-owned company. There is a couple of them that goes with the same status, the same kind of features for about 40 million naira. Is there a reason why you do not want a locally made vehicle?
Today, we decided for
a foreign manufactured vehicle.
For Toyota, because Toyota has a name and a long-standing name for quality and durability. Tomorrow, we might decide to go for we chose Land Cruiser Toyota because they are tested, they are tried and tested. Yeah, tomorrow we patronize as a local manufacturing companies develop. We're going to patronize them.
Senator, do you imagine that this might be discouraging for Nigerian manufacturers when at a point in time a lot of people are saying, let us look inward and patronize locally made stuff to encourage production in Nigeria?
We have not even fully petitioned them. I'm sure there are bosses, one or two, that from departments in the National Assembly.
Because if your colleagues in the lower chambers are buying 360 vehicles, your colleagues in the Senate are buying 109, that's way over, that's about almost 500 vehicles. You think if you purchase from local manufacturers, don't you think it will affect the economy? It will have an impact positively on the local economy?
Yeah, as time goes on, I've just said something, that we went for the vehicles that we chose because of one.
Well, at this rate, are you patriotic, you and your colleagues, Senator?
Yes.
By patronizing foreign-made vehicles over local ones?
I've just said something, you know, that for some mass transit buses and all that,
maybe a few units that you're going to buy. We're talking about buying 500. Is that patriotism?
As time goes on.
You swore to be patriotic to Nigeria. Is that patriotism, Senator?
At the same time,
if you are doing this for Nigeria, for the purpose, for lawmaking of Nigerian laws, for Nigerian people, and you're buying almost 500 vehicles, and you're patronizing, you're taking Nigerian money outside of this country, is that patriotism, Senator?
I've just said something, Shion, that as we develop in terms of quality and all that, we are going to patronize Nigerian.
Okay, Senator, let me ask you a question. Do you think purchasing about the 140 million worth of vehicle is not illegal?
It's not illegal. If you are saying, let me ask you. It's not. If you go to some states of the Federation, before houses of assembly members are even sworn in, there are vehicles waiting for them, Prado and all that.
But is that a reason why you lawmakers have to break the law?
And there's no law.
Do you think
can you tell me Nigerian law?
Are you familiar with RAMFAC?
That says that
the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Commission, Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission.
Yeah.
This is a commission that prescribes how much anybody in the public office will earn and what is accrued to them. Are you aware of what the law says?
Yeah.
Based on what a senator should get and a House of Representatives should get.
And the law says that ministers of government, agencies and parastatal directors, they shouldn't purchase utility vehicle for them.
Let me tell you, Senator, just for a moment, I've asked you whether you are aware that what you're doing is illegal or not, and you said it's illegal.
It's not illegal.
Are you operating under the RAMFAC law or not, as a public officer?
There's nothing in RAMFAC law that says that you cannot purchase project vehicle, utility vehicles for your service. Their project, let me tell you, we go all over Nigeria for oversight. And
you take this vehicle for oversight?
Yes.
And you don't fly for your oversight functions?
Is it always that if I want to go to my constituency now, where will I fly to?
Well, Senator,
I travel by road.
Senator, would you buy 160 million naira worth of vehicle for logistics and utility? 140 million naira for utility, Senator? That is the status vehicle, Senator, isn't it?
Why are you guys... Ministers are using same vehicle. Directors of government, agencies are using same
Senator, are you are closer to your people. You've represented your federal constituency. You're representing your senatorial constituency right now. Is it sensitive to be spending 140 million? If I give you 140 million naira cash to take to your senatorial district, won't your people benefit from it?
Let me tell you, Sean. I don't want to go personal now. I don't want to go personal. That same vehicle that you're talking of, before coming to the National Assembly, I have a vehicle that I have bigger than that.
But this is Nigerian money.
So
Nigeria does not have money at the moment. So 26 point something inflation rate, with over 34% of Nigerians unemployed.
Are we supposed to?
With over 134 million Nigerians multidimensionally poor. Is it sensitive that those who are supposed to represent the people go to Abuja and lavish themselves with luxury vehicle? Is that sensitive, Senator?
Are we supposed to do our oversight function trekking or going without vehicles?
Maybe you could have considered a more cheaper vehicles to get the job done. Maybe a car. Maybe a sedan.
If I travel to...
Maybe a 25 million naira worth of sedan vehicle might do the job.
If I travel to my constituency with a car now, by the time I go 3-4 times, you know Nigerian roads.
Is that not an indictment on you, those of you who are in power?
That what?
Those of you who are leaders in Nigeria today, is that not an indictment? And we have bad roads in the state, in your local government, in the senatorial district. Is that not an indictment on those of you who are in power?
It's a discussion for another day. You see the level of...
But Nigerians suffer for the inefficiency of those who are in power,
let me tell
Senator?
You, if you look at Nigerian roads all over the Federation, that we have a serious problem. Because nothing much has been done in the last few years. Most of our roads, they are terribly bad. In fact, the government cannot even have fund enough to work on those roads. We have to go back into a PPP, a private partnership arrangement where people can invest, tow those roads, and get their money. In return, it is done.
We'll find out whether or not what you are doing is illegal or what you're doing as a senator or as lawmakers in the eye of the law is right or wrong, or whether or not it's morally justified. But Section 84 of the Nigerian Constitution empowers RAMFAC to mandate or determine the salaries, allowances of public officials, including members of the National Assembly. And this is what RAMFAC, based on the last published figure of the basic salary of a senator, it says that a senator earns 2-point-something million naira. Therefore, with that, a senator should be entitled to about 8.1 million naira worth of vehicle, which is about 400% of your basic salary. That is what the law under RAMFAC says, Senator. And for your colleagues in the lower chamber, their basic salary as last published was about 1.9 million. And you can draw a car loan to the extent of 7.9 million, but you can't exceed that. That is what the RAMFAC law says. But if you're buying a vehicle of 140 million naira, based on this, it says something is wrong.
I'm not even, don't forget that I'm not, I didn't tell you that I don't even know the figure as I'm talking to you, because it's not my responsibility.
If you're buying a Land Cruiser, we've done our own research, and I've given you a median of what it costs in the market right now. No, so we heard that the cost that National Assembly is getting is 160 million. But I've taken that figure and put it under the table. I've given you a 140 million. Prado is about 85 to 90 million naira. So let's assume that you're buying it at 140 million, no matter what the case may be. Senator, can you look Nigerians in the eye tonight and say what you are doing is sensible and appeals to the sensibilities of Nigerians who are poor? Some of them who cannot even afford a food on their table tonight. Some of them will go hungry without being able to provide for their families. Some of them who are multidimensionally poor. Dollar to a naira is about 1,250, and we have our lawmakers buying this kind of vehicle. Is that right? Is that justifiable, Senator?
Sure. Is it only Nigerian senators and House of Rep members that are using?
What does it make it right if you're not the only one? I mean, and I'm not making any allegations against you, and I'm just saying that if anybody is caught doing something wrong, I'm not the only one doing it. Other people are doing it. Can I ask
you a question, Theo?
Go ahead, please.
Your MD, is it MD or the head of your this thing? Which type of vehicle is he using?
I use an SUV. That's why I told you.
SUV.
It's an SUV. I use a mini SUV based on the status of my role here, and that's why I do that.
Why didn't you buy Nigerian-made vehicle?
I have. My vehicle is produced here in Nigeria.
Which
I use a GAC that was coupled in Lagos.
Well, how much did you buy?
It's a company. It's an official vehicle.
So, your company chose to buy you
official vehicle as a private organization, but you are a public officer, Senator, and that's why we are asking you tonight. He who comes with equity must come with clean hands. Senator, Nigerians are suffering. There's poverty in the land. Can you, for a moment, even jettison that idea to show Nigerians that you guys are committed to the plight of the poor people, that you cannot run government as usual? You are a member of the APC, a senior member of the APC. Can Nigerians trust the APC and the leaders of today that they really care about the people of this country?
You know, assembly, we talk of the same thing. Maybe as a local manufacturing plant develop, we may choose to patronize.
The GAC, in collaboration with the Lagos State government, just launched 2,000 vehicles. There is Innocent in Anambra State. There's another young man who is producing a vehicle that will be useful. If you say utility vehicle, is another Nigerian, his name just skipped my mind right now. Not NORD, is a Nigerian young man producing vehicle. And this set of people will look at you, who are supposed to be leaders of Nigeria. How disappointed do you think they would be in you?
I've just said that in future, we would do, and surely as Nigerian manufacturing sector develop.
Senator, you know, a lot of Nigerians may not be happy with you guys right now. Are you aware?
You are seeing a lot of Nigerians there. Nigerians are not seeing other people in the executive.
Is that the reason? Is that an excuse enough?
The same vehicle?
Is that an excuse enough?
Why are you guys picking on Nigerian?
Because you are the representative of the people.
Yeah.
You are voted in office to feel the pain of the people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like you guys are feeling it, are you?
We're making a lot of sacrifice. You don't know.
Including buying luxury vehicles. Senator, maybe we should leave it. We pray for Nigeria. Let me take you to Kogi State. Why is so much violence in the run-up to the election?
Violence is not peculiar to Kogi. So it's not only in Kogi State that we have violence. And in Kogi State, there's only some skirmishes of violence in the east. Especially, I'm talking of Eastern Senatorial District. If you go to Kogi West, no violence. I'm not hearing of any violence in Kogi Central. The violence is more in Kogi East.
Why? Is there anything wrong? Why is Kogi East like a hotbed?
We need to ask the players there. And our governor has said it many times openly that he will not encourage violence, that we should be ready to have a peaceful election. And those that are instigating violence, they are people that are afraid of facing the people. We are ready for APC. We know we are going to win the election. We don't need violence to win election. We are not, APC is not interested in violence. We are interested in going out to vote. APC owns the state, don't forget.
Own it or controls it?
We are controlling Kogi State. I'm sure you are aware.
What about Dino, Abejide are there? These are your brothers.
My brother, do you know the result of last election in Kogi State? Out of 3 senators, we produced 3. Out of 9 House of Rep members, we produced 6. The other 2, they will still come back. They are trying to come back with APC. Out of 25 House of Assembly, we produced 23. So how can you defeat APC in Kogi State with that foundation?
Senator, we need to go now, but I mean, just in 30 seconds, I need to sort of move into other issue. I was just going to ask you, couldn't you have purchased some of these few pool vehicles for your oversight functions?
I've just said the decision to buy this vehicle, that this decision was taken not even by us alone. It was taken before we even came, they did a comparative analysis of cost, of technicalities in terms of durability, before arriving at this.
But when you got into office and you saw that this may not make sense based on economic realities, couldn't you have rejected it and said, look, let's go for something cheaper for the sake of Nigerians?
And with
the cost of governance is too high.
With their experience, and you said in 9th Assembly they used the same Land Cruiser. Senators, in 9th Assembly they used the same Land Cruiser. In the 8th Assembly, I think they used Land Cruiser also. During
Ahmed
Lawan, Land Cruiser, Saraki, Land Cruiser. So,
but Nigeria of then and today
it's not different. Let me tell you, they took this decision based on the experience.
But the economic realities are not the same.
So
there are more people that are in the poverty net now.
It's not that this is the first time that they are using Land Cruiser. I've just said, even 7 Assembly, I think it was Prado. 8 Assembly, Land Cruiser. 9 Assembly, Land Cruiser.
Senator, we need to go now. But okay. I can make an appeal to you, can I?
Yeah.
As a representative of the people. If you see that the people are suffering and you think that your decision is unpopular, would you, for the interest of Nigerians, rescind and do what is better?
We are doing all possible to make the life of ordinary Nigerians better. They elected us to serve them, and we are going to change things for We are going to change their life positively by bringing dividend of democracy to them.
But when they say that you live in luxury and they live in poverty, don't you think that that is...
Look, let me tell you.
That is at variance to what you profess.
They know us, they respect us. Just that they are just trying to bring something out of nothing. And we don't have problem with our constituents over this.
All right, thank you so much indeed. Honorable Senator Sunday Karimi, I keep calling you.
No, it's okay.
Calling you Honorable. Okay. Senator Sunday Karimi is the chair of the Senate Committee on Services and representing Kogi State in the National Assembly. Thank you so much indeed for clarifying and speaking to some of these issues. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.